Out here. So today's project, back on the LX176, a couple of little touch-ups here, okay? So this thing electrically, I'll bring you in here and I'll show you. So there's a couple of things going on here. This terminals here, you can see here they're just been crimped down on with a washer, right? So that's not ideal, because those of you electrical friends who know what's going on, that boot could be a little bit better. We'll fix that up. So that's getting some resistance there through there. That's not exactly ideal. And down here we've got this one down here is exposed, okay? So normally we want this boot over here, but this other little line here, this control line is exposed, and we need that boot on there, so we're just going to take that off. All right, so what I'm going to do is just now at the moment is I'll show you how these little clips, just got the little mini screwdriver here. It's got a little tab in it, right? Just get that down. But what you're going to do is we're just going to bend that back up now in the right spot, just a little bit, so when it goes back in here, it goes in the right way. So now I can feed that through. Well, in theory, I can feed that through. Just bring that down square there a little bit. It seemed like there was going to be plenty of room to get that through there. Oh, here she comes. There it is. Righto. There we go. Now we can get that on there. All right. Let's get that going there. Beautiful. You really got to protect these, especially on these old mowers. You've got to protect those things because they just arc out. It's a schmozzle, right? Now we can put this back in. We've got to make sure it's in the right way. Where that clip, it's a bit like an Anderson plug. One side's smooth, one side's not. It'll clip in and not come back out. There we go. And then we can hook that back on there, on that tab at the back there. Beautiful. Done. Protected. Now for these two. So we're gonna go and get some tools. All right. And we're gonna, I went down to was a J-car this morning anyway, so I went and got these crimps, well, lugs, sorry, but and they got markings on them here, 25 and 8. So 8 is 8mm eye, which is gonna go on here, and the 25 square millimeters. Now, don't get me doing maths, but you get the idea. It's the cross-sectional square millimeters, right? And I've also got some heat shrink there. Heat shrink's gonna do most of the work. I don't have a giant crimping tool, right? But I just use the back of the pliers and it works fine. And we'll put some heat shrink on it and it'll be a-okay. All right, we'll be right back. All right. That's a nice day here. Birds chirping and everything. Right, I've got some tools here. We probably don't need that. First port of call, get that out the way. We're going to disconnect the battery. So, we've got a spanner roll here. And I'm tipping, that's a 10. 10, ends in here somewhere. There's the 10, right. Some pretty cranky old nuts here, but we're just going to disconnect the battery first and get this one lead off. All right, we don't have a lot of lead there. You can see how that's already not having a good time. Right, we're going to have enough room. Drop that washer down there. Right, put everything down here. Get that off, get that bolt off. Happy days. Now, that's disconnected, that's fine. What I might do is actually, it's a bit risky if we don't disconnect the earth, because if I drop one of these things, she'll arc out. Or could do. Right. Just gonna wind that back up on there. Bend it out the way. Get that earth lead out the way. Alright, battery's disconnected. Now we'll work on this one first. I don't think that's 10. I think that's bigger than 10. Yeah, it may in fact be 13 is the next best guess. Nope, 12. 11. 11. Yeah. Might have every spanner out. All right. Okay, so we're just gonna loosen that off. Loosen that off. Geez, fighting it every way. Oh, see, that's another problem. There was a piece of that strand of that wire caught underneath in between the nut. You probably can't see it, but that was what was binding up the nut. So that's another issue, right? So I'm gonna put that up there out of the way. All right, get that off there. Okay. Everyone's agreeing that's probably not the best way to be doing it. Now, if you're in a bind, yeah, get it happening. And he's actually done that quite well. I'm just going to take that off here. Where's that little screwdriver again? I'm going to take this little clip off here so we can work a bit easier. Now, that's meant to just push there, but I'm going to do it the other way. Get my screwdriver in there. There we go. Just check all these connections. They get pretty corroded. Alright, so now I was hoping to save that, but I just don't think there's any way we're going to save that. Now, the side cutters here, these may not be the best because it's such a big cable. Oh, no, there we go. Yep, excellent. Alright, now, alright, you can get all sorts of cutters strippers for these and that, but I just, you know, I just don't do enough for it to, be worth buying a super duper set of splitters, right? This is going to work. That's going to go in there perfect. Little big, probably could have been a 6mm, but I think that is going to go in there perfect, right? So these aren't that deep. That is the measurement there, right? And I'll go a few mils short, just so the rubber is snug up against the thing here, right? Stanley knife, being careful. And I'm going real gentle here. I don't want to cut any of the strands of the wire, right? Then I'll come forwards just gently. Now I'll come along. Just go gently. Don't do all this in one go. Oh, then I can feel the strands, right? Now I get the pliers. Depending on how fancy you feel, you just start to strip that back. Don't go crazy. We want to get every strand. Right. That's just going to rip off there now. Right where I marked it. My cut wasn't full depth, which is good. Now I'm barely putting any pressure on this when I'm cutting into it. Rocking it back and forth, rocking it back and forth, rocking it back and forth. Careful not to cut. There we go, beautiful. Now, I'm just going to square that off a bit with the pliers. Alright, there we go. Now, just by hand, I'm just going to twist that up a bit so it's nice and compact. Now you can get on the discussion about how these should be. You know, I'm a little bit short there actually. I just want to go a little bit longer so it's nice, and these are actually one size too big now by what I'm seeing here, but that's fine. We'll make it work. Just a little nick there. Get that sheath back. There we go. Beautiful. That up there. Oh, that's nice. Yep, beautiful. Now, for all our fans out there of this sort of stuff, look at this heat shrink. Okay, cut that square for a start. Where do I put my side cutters? She's around here somewhere. Yeah, they're on the ground right next to me. So, snipping that straight, get rid of that. And you don't want to go crazy with this stuff. We want to cover, it's not cheap, we want to cover probably about that much. Right, it doesn't necessarily go too much shorter, but it trims in diameter. We'll get that on there first so we don't forget. Right, I don't even know what size this stuff is, but as long as it's kind of a tight fit, it'll be perfect, right? There we go. Now we're going to crimp. Now, another important thing is you want your crimping the right way on such a short cable. So that was like that. That was like that. So I'm going to put the crimp. I reckon it's going to be able to go right there. I'm going to put the crimp. Or does that want to come out this way? Yeah, that's fine. That would be there. That would be down. So the crimp is going to go this way. Nothing worse than having your crimp, it's like kind of in the wrong spot. Now, For those of you who don't know, on your electrically rated pliers, this tab in the back here is your crimp. Now again, strictly speaking for this, it's probably not the best. However, here we are with the lawnmower. It's not a fucking Maserati, right? Crimp that, get that first. All right, and you want it just about in the middle there. Right? I'm gonna go a little bit further. Just finagle it a bit. There we go. Alright, whoops. Just get that in there. There she is, right? There. Now, that's pretty much the orientation I wanted. Gonna start crimping. Crimping. Now I'm gonna give it the beans. Oh. Right, that is on there. That is not coming off. Right. Now, heat shrink and everything. Just crimp that heat shrink right up. Heat gun here. Open it up upside down. Right, high, Ryobi heat gun, nice and simple. Don't overthink it. All the way around. Alright, beautiful. You can get into this cable a little bit because it's pretty robust, but as soon as you see that shrink down and see the profile, that's it. Right, there we go. You can tell when it's shrunk. Okay. Right, yeah, don't even have to get it that hot. Right, look at that. Beautiful. Right. We haven't even spent $8 yet. Right. That'll go on there, that's great. What we will do, we'll put this washer underneath this time to get that up and get that in contact with it, right? And that one was up here. This one was here. A couple of washers. And then that will go on top. That's beautiful. Alright, we'll tuck that in out of the way there. Hand tight. Put this one on in the back here. I don't know what that is, some sort of control line. Right, there we go. Beautiful. Right, look at that connection now. That's fantastic. It's an aftermarket start relay too, because the start relay is meant to be down in there out of the way. We may even look to fix that up. Let's leave it. It's in a good spot. It's not going anywhere. Alright, the next one. What were they? They were 12. They were, no, 11. Why is the world so hard? Right, get that off. There we go. That'll be a much better connection instead of just being all those frayed wires, which is just not, like I said, it's not a big deal. I'll get this off. Right, get a screwdriver here. Get it under there and get that off square. There we go. Oh, Jesus, jammed on there. Again, it's got strands of the cable meshed in with the thread now. You'll find that stuff just gets everywhere. Alright, look at that. Now, we don't have a lot to work with here, so I've really got to take it easy unless we're going to have to sort out a new cable. See if we're going to wind it. Oh, there we go. Even just unwinding it, one little wind, that's going to be fine. Right, again, I was hoping to save those, but not today, Junior. Snip those off and get rid of them. Alright, there we go. What's going to slip? There we go. Alright, just going to prep up a bit of this now. Probably about the same amount. Not to overthink it. There we go. Slip that on first because that's hands down, would forget that any other day of the week. Get a new terminal. Alright, so you know, again, these aren't the exact perfect size. They're not the exact, you know, blah blah blah. Oh, you know, Jesus, Gravel's doing me in. Knee pads. Here we go. Flip that around. Again, I'm just feeling where the strands are. Okay. Now I'm cutting this one away from myself. I'm cutting. I'm 3-4 goes in the same slot. Now I can feel the things and I can back it off, right? I'm no Sparky, but I've got a fair idea what's going on. Alright, fridgy. Alright, that's gonna rip. So back to the knife, just show it the blade, nice and gentle. I'm barely pressing down, and it'll tell me when it gets to the fibres. Now I've done that, I haven't touched a single fibre. Now, I'm left-handed, so I've got to go backwards. There. We've got our, this one's the same, so it's going to be, we need to set that up the same. We had our crimp out. Alright, I've gone a bit, there we go, that's beautiful. So, it's just going to be that same orientation that way. Just got to make sure that's right. Now, get our bush crimp out. Okay, and we're into it a little bit. Now we give it the beans. Old surgery hands. There we go. Beautiful. I haven't cut that shit straight, so we'll put the non-straight bit at the back. Right, heat gun again. On we go. That heat shrinks, you don't have to do that, but it's worth it, you know. This thing lives outside or in the shed, and then they vibrate like there's no tomorrow. Right? You'll know when you've overheated this stuff because it'll start to fall off. Alright? And you should just be able to touch it right after. That's how I've always done it anyway. Look at that. Look at that cable. Beautiful. That's tidied those right up. So we had the washer here. I was looking for another washer there. I'll just put this one on. I'll have to go get one. So a washer. I'll go get another one. Okay. This will do us. Just get those washers there so we get a really nice connection. You don't have to do that, but I mean that's what I've always done. What's going to cook this is our nut. There it is. Right, I'm just going to preload that way a little bit, get our weird, why would they do that to a size 11? There we go. That's beautiful. Just going to nip that up, hold that in place, nip it up, don't be afraid to go a little bit tight, but don't overdo it. It's going to stay on there. There we go, this one too. Now we can nip this one off. Just going to tuck it. Just going to tuck it in there away from. You know what? I reckon we can get that over there. Look at that. That's beautiful. Bit of an adjustment. Let's see if that works here now. Tighten that up. Now what about our positive? All right. So now. We'll put the positive back on. We've got those two washers and the nut, yep, one either side. That's a big lug, but let's just put it back on for today. A washer there. Get in there. There we go. Washer there. Whoops. I dropped in. A washer there. Beautiful. Alright, so I've just been, you can't see it, I'll show you in a second. I've just been able to zippy that, just not zippy it, just tuck that back inside there, away from the shroud, which is a much better position. I mean, it wasn't wrong before, but this is much better. Just gonna hold that with a shifter so we get a nice tight connection to our battery. Beautiful, that'll do. Boot on. Ah, beautiful. We're much better off. This roll cable just has got a mind of its own. Anyway, alright, get this one here. hook the earth lead up. Earth lead first, earth lead later. I mean, you know, again, it's not a Maserati. It's just, there's no computer in it. Just get it hooked up. There we go. It's going to tuck that horizontal there. Nip that up. Got one lead there going to the regulator. Oh no, it's just the hour meter. It's not that important. Okay, tight terminal, right. It's coming for a sticky beak. So, it's sunny out here. So you can see here, that was originally where I put that, made to get that boot back on. That's all snug and tight. That's in past the line of the guard there. Now we've got the relay here, so this is the start relay. So that one's nice and tight. That one's tight, and you see I've just snaked it back that way instead of out here, so it's not rubbing on the guard, doesn't get in the way. All right, so then that boot's been able to go back on. All right, so that's pretty straightforward. Just get those. You can get those. I got those from Power Tech. 25 millimeters square cable diameter. For those of you who don't know, it's not the diameter of the cable, it's not across the cable, it's obviously whatever the pi times the radius of the cable times whatever they want. Some mathematical genius gets you 25 millimeters square is the cross section of the cable, is the size of the cable, and then 8 millimeter eye. Okay, so these are 6 millimeter posts. I didn't measure that before I left, but this is just what they had in stock. Okay, I got those from J-Car, and I'm sure you could get them from just about anywhere else. Bunnings, that's just where I was this morning. All right, picking up something else. So that's a good little project. Could do a little something there, but a little bit of tape, but I got to be honest with you, it's probably fine. Headlights, we'll do a headlight project another day. That's coming, I think the headlight's up there and it goes up into the switch. So, but yeah, other than that, it's a good little improvement. All right, that'll last forever. That'll last as long as the mower now. All right, so the only thing left to do is give him a test run these things, of course. All right, I had this running earlier, so it should start okay. Key on. Well, that ain't ideal. Locked up there. Ooh. Alright, that's fine. Right. That makes for great video, doesn't it? So everything there's connected. There should be no reason why it doesn't start. It'll be the starter mode. It's the first time it hasn't cranked, so you think if I've been messing around with the electrics, that might be one of the problems, but let's give it another shot. No, doesn't want to do it. These things are old, right? Thumped on that thing, gave it a few starts. I guarantee you that starter motor's on its way out. We've been giving it a hard time. So, we'll give it the old, there's no real room to hit it there. But that's either the starter motor thrown out and staying thrown out, right? The relay's fine. I can feel the relay clicking, so it wants to send power down there, right? So all the earths are good. I can see they're grounded, right? And you saw there, I just got it in a better spot. Give that a whack with something. It's having a hard time. So one thing we can check, I'm just going to check that this is getting, so there's a little solenoid here, right? So there's a solenoid and there's a solenoid, I just can see that. Down there a little bit there. So there's a solenoid here. There's a solenoid and the starter motor. Now, what I would probably do is say, we're going to make sure all these connections are fine, which they were. So we know it started before, so we know that's fine. Right, but I can guarantee you, what is that? That it's this starter motor is having a hard time now, right? Okay, if I've given it too much, it's too much to do in one day, which I doubt it, right? What we'll do, we're going to go voltage, we're going to go direct current, right? And now we're going to go the negative and the positive. This is just to test the meter. So 12.69 volts can be not enough power to throw that thing out. On the other side of the switch, we've got nothing. So we're going to wedge that in there, make sure that still works. Put that on the other side of the pole. The switch is working, right? So that may in fact be the problem. It's this, not the starter motor. So we've been fucking around with it. That's a good chance that that's what's going on. So one on either side to get a difference. Now, right, there's voltage, which means there's a difference in the polarity. 12 volts. So one side's got power, one side doesn't. Same, nothing changed, right? I can feel it going, right, but nothing's happening. Now, if I take this boot off, we'll go get the jumper leads and we'll prove that the power is not getting through here and then through to here. Now, it could be the fact that there's an earth issue, but I doubt it because the whole thing's grounded, right? So now I'm only using the, just come down here to make sure you can see what's going on, right? Okay, so I'm only using the positive because that's all I want to do. I'm not going to fry anything. All right, I'm going from the battery right onto the starter motor here. All right, you ready? Oh, there we go, missed it. So I bypassed the relay here. All right, so that's telling me that relay is a piece of junk. Okay, now that's what we should be whacking. Okay, so sometimes they whack it too hard, you crack it. All right, try it again. All right, so it's this. This gets power from the battery. It's a relay and it relays the power. So what's switching it is this little 12 volt line. It's a little low amp. It's all 12 volt. It's a little low amp line, right? Might be 10 amps, might be less. This is a big crank amps, right? This is going to take like 40 amps. Yeah, and that's a 40 amp switch going to this. This is the relay for this. So this is the starter. This says, okay, get power to here. Bang, turns, throws it out, turns the motor. All right, so starter motor. Flywheels in here. You can see where the starter motor throws out and has a little gear that you can Google it, right? This thing is bodgy, right? Now they go all the time for some weird reason. I don't understand why they don't make them better, but if I've had 10 mowers, I've replaced 10 of these. Right, okay, so try it one more time. So the switch, the switch on the dash, when you put it to ignition, when you put it up onto start, it takes the power to here inside and pulls that in and makes this connection as if these two wires are touched. So when I put the jumper leads, I just went straight from the power, bypassed all that and put it onto here, right? Okay, which is that point there. That's what we want. You see that's it's got a negative, but it's connected to already inside. So let's try it one more time. If this doesn't start now, we know it's this. So that's it, yeah? Oh, dirty there. Done. Now we know I gave that a whack and it came good, but you can't really lubricate that thing. You just leave it. If it fails, maybe they're 50 bucks or so, but anyway. All right, that's that little project. All right, next project we'll do headlights. Anyway, that's it for today.